Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'd hate to ruin this for you, but another movie that taught us to settle. Now, this may be shocking because I know that this is like the first Disney princess who didn't have like a love interest. And okay, I'm really not trying to ruin y'all's childhood or adolescence or whatever. I just saw this movie for the first time ever this weekend. And while I think there's so many beautiful things about it, just like pretty much every movie I go back and watch, I'm horrified at the way the way that men have been normalized to be just terrible people. And yep, that's just the way they are. Okay, so I'm just gonna give y'all first impressions of this movie. Most of the other Disney movies I hate so much, even though I love them because they're from my childhood. I hate them now when I go rewatch them, like Beauty and the Beast. And that one's coming, I promise. But that it's a hard watch. So I thought this one would be, an easy, hopeful, lovely movie with a strong female character that doesn't center men. But it's more than that. It's other things too. And I have questions. Also, it should be noted that in French it's called Rebelle, which reminds me, in France they rename these movies. Like Waiting to Exhale is Where Are the Men? Or this one, Just Married, No Schmegs. Anyway, so we start off the movie. She's a little girl and she just wants to do what her dad does, or what men do. I can relate to that. I'm a tomboy. I'm like, yeah, look at her and her wild hair, little bow. Yeah, get it. And then you got her mom, very much being a white woman. No, you can't do that. Policing her actions. I mean, this is obviously a lot of mothers are acting like this, but I'm just going to speak specifically. This woman reminds me so much of white mothers. I'm just going to speak from experience here, but especially raised in the South, which is very conservative and, old timey, where white mothers are like policing their daughters all the time, wanting them to get, marriage material, purity culture, like all that stuff, right? She's like, oh no, she's playing with a married. Who's going to marry her? And of course, it's always about marrying like a rich white man, right? Anyway, she's like, she's a lady. And also this brings me up now again. A woman was involved in this writing. I think it's a woman and two men. But immediately I'm like, oh no, is this going to be about him taking his daughter's side and ganging up against mom? Like, y'all need to be a united front, okay? Because what I see here is like the future of dad and daughter making fun of mom. Because my dad did that. My dad did that. He tried to turn me against my mom. Despite the fact that he left us and all this other stuff. Anyway, the point is that y'all need to talk more in private and come to a consensus because you got some triangulation happening already. Okay, also there's three boys. Okay, so right out of the gate, these three little brats are going to be able to do whatever they want. Where the daughter, especially because she's an older daughter, is going to be held to a completely different standard. Yep, that checks out. Okay, now daddy got his leg chawed off because of a bear. So we know there's a scary bear here. Okay, scary bear is the antagonist, supposedly. Now, also, like these three brothers, like good thing they're not older brother, because then they'd just be kicking the crap out of their sister. All right, she wouldn't be so brave. She'd just be like traumatized by three older brothers, like Ryan Reynolds. Okay, so all mom wants to do is get this girl married. She's like, can't you just be like dressed pretty and let us choose a husband for you? Because if you're not connected to a white man, what good are you? Anyway, she's constantly frustrated with her daughter because she won't conform and stay in line. And then she's also trying to pressure Big Daddy into like, keeping the daughter in line. Now, this chick is tough. She is so good at like this archery stuff. Like, I love the scene where she's on her horse riding through the forest, like shooting stuff. And she's so good at it. And she's free. And she's doing what she wants to be doing instead of like all that other crap to become, marriage material. She, climbs up walls. Actually, it's funny when we were watching this, my husband was like, God, she's just like you. So brave and free. By the way, he was the one who wanted to watch this movie. He loves Disney movies, especially ones that make us cry. Actually, at the end, when you're like the crying moment, he could tell that I was like on the verge of tears, and he's like, "It's okay, you can cry, babe. This is where people cry." Because I don't let myself cry. And he's a Pisces. He loves crying. Anywho, basically what we gather from this man. Okay, first of all, his wife is beautiful. Beautiful. What is this? What is this? You want me to believe that she actually wants to fork this dude? I mean, he's a mess and he's dumb. He's so dumb. Like, y'all, they have been selling weaponizing competence and just men being just doofuses who like don't know anything for a really long time. Remember, patriarchy constantly adapts like water to keep men in power. So even though like, all the women know that this man is just dumb, they've accepted that, he's the king baby. Also, this lady's bug eyes bother me, and her cleavage. I'm gonna get back to the cleavage in a minute because what? I don't mean in a purity culture kind of way. I just mean like he's got these peekaboo eyes and big boobs, and then the three boys like okay, that's later. So Mama is all like, oh look, they all want to marry you, yay! And he's like, duh. And then she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, weapons off the table. You shouldn't have weapons anyway. You're a girl. Anyway, they get in like a fight. And then these two finally talk. And Doofus King is like, why don't you talk to her? Bro, why don't you talk to her? Do you ever talk to your daughter or do you make her do all the emotional labor? Why don't y'all get on the same page? Like, I know this is Disney and this is supposed to be a long time ago, but none of this is real anyway. Women had no power. There's no way that this princess would have been able to just not marry. Like, bleh. He's like, speak to her. Take care of it. I don't want to do anything. She's like, I did talk to her. And he's like, here, you can practice talk with me. And they do the scenario where he pretends to be the daughter. Like any father that leaves the mother to go to bat against the daughter, like, he wants that daughter to get married too, but he's making her do all the work, making her be the bad guy, right? So the daughter's blaming mom. But don't you think dad is making her get married too? Like, why? I mean, I know that mom understands the stakes, which is why she's pushing so hard, but dad is not going to let her not get married. Good cop, bad cop. I'm so over it. Somehow this tapestry is important. I don't care. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time, y'all. Mom gets her way, puts her in this ridiculous outfit with a corset. Looks just like the scene from Titanic, y'all. The mom's like, make you skinny. Hiding all that beautiful hair. Okay, so then all her future suitors show up. Like, this is where she's picking her future husband. This is the only decent looking one. But he's like, literally like flexing his pecs. Like, all of the men in this movie are ridiculous. The dad sucks. The triplets do. This dude who's like, I don't know if he's wasted or what his deal is. These are all the men running the country. Now, I love the fact that it points out that like men are really not doing very good at this. But can y'all give us one healthy male character for women to look to as like a good standard? Because this movie is full of just men who suck. Most Disney movies are men who suck. Maybe not so much anymore, but the ones I grew up with, they all suck. Like, the bar is on the floor in this movie. All these daddies trying to marry off their loser sons. I mean, I understand why she doesn't want to be with any of these fools. And they don't even want to be with her. That's the whole point at the end. They're like, hey, can we just date who we want? And everyone's like, okay. But the fact that all these men are just absurd. All they do is fight. Like, without the women around, they just fight. Now, even though that may be, kind of accurate, like, if I was a parent and I had sons, I'd be horrified at the role models for my son. When I went to Disney the last time, they have a policy, it seems now, where they call all the girls princesses and all the boys pirates. I want you to think about that. Princess, okay, they should be queens, to be honest. But pirates? You got boys dressing up and aspiring to be schmegs traffickers and thieves? Do you wonder why men are like lost and can't get their crap together? Like, what good role model are there? They're also toxically masculine or dumb or something. Like, the fact that this whole thing could have been resolved if the daughter could just tell her dad that mom's a bear. I know it's hard to believe, but all of this, literally all of this, was because both of them can't communicate with dad what's actually happening. So you got the whole kingdom, all these men chasing a bear. It's actually the mom. We still have witches who are evil. Like, she's really the bad person here. Doesn't sound like any witchery she does is for good. Can we please have good witches? Come on. Okay, also, this woman puts the key to the room that the daughter's locked in her cleavage. Then the three brothers who also turned into bears. One of them jumps into her cleavage to get the key. Like, this is the scene right before he gets the key. He's diving into her boobs. Okay, with no help from dad, mom becomes not a bear. And then they become BFFs. And dad's just still a bumbling fool at the end. Like, what?